So actually, maybe it was Jamuna Priya. They planted some avocado seeds in Bamampara because in Bamampara they don't have the monkeys. So yeah. Do you remember that Chinmoy Prabhu? Dandavat Chinmoy Prabhu? Yeah, because that was the problem in Navadvip. You couldn't grow any fruit there because the monkeys would take everything. So then there was some movement to plant some special things in Bamampara because they didn't have monkeys there. I don't know.
That reminds me of something. I don't remember who went to the Navadvip temple, and they say, I don't know who said this. I don't remember, but that Govinda Maharaj, I think, was shooting monkeys with a pellet gun or something like that, because they were like. And they were like, yeah, it was the first time I saw Gurudev, and she was shooting monkeys. And
okay, we're shooting with yeah, you have to clarify, you have to add that.
Yes.
Pellet gun. not a real gun,
Not a real gun.
Yeah,
just to scare them away.
Kind of playful pastimes, yes, with the monkeys. Because they would cause disturbance, the monkeys.
Yes.
So yeah.
But I don't remember who said that. That's the point.
Yeah, no, I heard that. I heard that too. Or did I hear that? I think I heard that.
I only saw it in Govardhan, to tell you the truth. Not Gurudev, one of his servants.
Yeah, we know some of his servants did it, and I think it was under his authorization. I'm pretty sure. Yes. But I don't know if I heard Gurudev personally doing it, but it's possible. Definitely possible. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I
remember in Govardhan one time trying to get a monkey out, and they are scary. that monkey turned around and bared its teeth at me, and they have very sharp teeth. Very big fangs.
They can be, they can be scary. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, welcome everybody. Rasaraj Prabhu, Suvasini Didi is with us, and Rasa's joined us, Dana, Gangalila, and Marie's also joined us. No problem. Some of you have written comments regarding your video. No problem. It's fine. We're happy to see your names on the screen. Your auspicious names. Well, does anyone been talking about mangoes in India and Navadvip? Does anyone have any, or maybe at the end we'll announce it in case a few others join us. But we have a special, Chinmoy Prabhu has a special announcement to make, which we're very, very excited about. But we'll wait till the end for others who join. But does anyone have any special request for today? Oh, Marie, that's right. You're in with Govinda right now. That's cool. Please give our love. Yeah, so nice that you're visiting. Nice. Does anyone have any special requests for today? Special topic for today? There's Jayadev also joined us. Chinmoy, you look like you want to say something.
Nothing particular in my mind. I mean, I have a topic we can always discuss, but somebody else has some other issue.
Does anyone else have any special request for today? Or should we hear topics suggested by Chinmoy Prabhu?
Didi, there's something that I've been wondering about, but I don't know if this makes a good topic or not. I'm kind of flying in out of left field here. But it's something that I've been wondering about lately is seva, and specifically this. So I've got this sort of panoply of duties in my life. I've got a bunch of different people or constituencies that I serve that keep me busy. And to some extent, to some extent, you could sort of construe these as being service to the Lord, namely service to my wife, service to my students, to my family, doing search and rescue stuff, and service to people who get lost. And it seems to me that these are, but sort of are not, service to the Lord. That is, none of those things I've just listed are like specifically religious things. And so on the one hand, I would like to get my various duties and obligations and forms of service kind of all oriented in one direction, so that I don't have them competing with religious service. But on the other hand, I don't want to just be self-serving by just construing everything that I've got going on. It's like, oh yeah, this is all meeting religious obligations. If I had thought harder about this, I would have attempted to form this question a little more transparently.
I can understand what you're saying. I can understand what you're saying. Well, I mean, one thing that we have to remember, and welcome to Chaitanya Daya, it's also joined us. One thing that we have to remember is that we're playing we want to play the long game, right? And so we can conceive of, yes, it would be more simple if we could just kind of put everything into one box, right? Put everything in the same basket.
Yeah.
That would be more simple. It would be very nice, and you can find plenty of groups that do that. But the fact of the matter is that our situation now is not simple. That we are in quite a complex, curious situation at present, and we can conceive of ourselves as having two dharmas, two. Welcome, Somya Sham Prabhu, Vijayananda, tuning in from Ireland. We can conceive of ourselves as having two dharmas. There's if I say absolute and relative, does that make absolute dharma and relative dharma? That, of course it does to you. You're a professor of religious studies. I'm just checking myself nowadays, because some of the words which I've grown up since childhood, I've come across very educated people. They don't know what I'm talking about, I have to check sometimes. Like, you notice what I mean? So there's we can conceive of our absolute dharma, right? Which is that we are eternal servants of God. Jiver Srupa Hoy Krishna Nitya Das. This is our constitutional nature. This is the positive and progressive life of the immortal soul, to be loving servants of divinity in its personal loving expression, supreme manifestation of the personality of Godhead, whom we have identified as Krishna, Shri Krishna, the all-attractive, beautiful Krishna. So that is our constitutional nature, right? But at present, we've dragged ourselves into a land which is for the most part antithetical to that, which is we are by nature dedicating units, but we have dragged ourselves down into the world of exploitation, and we have also acquired many of these exploiting tendencies and relative conceptions of truth. No. No, and there's also a spectrum there. There's good misconception, there's bad misconception, there's middle area, or, some are not so bad, some are kind of good, but it is all still in the world of misconception. The foundation is false, right? So this is our situation, right? So it's not going to be a straightforward matter. No, it's not going to be that we can just immediately jump from A to B. No, it's not going to work like that. So, and we can't force it either. That won't be helpful. If once we come to that realization that, oh, I'm here and I'm supposed to be there, it's just like if we've understood that we have an illness, let's say we've understood we have some type of mental condition, we're sane enough to be able to, well, we were discussing this the other day, right? That, we're pretty well off if we know that we're a little crazy, right? That's a very good place to be, actually. Right. The dangerous place to be is when you're crazy and you don't know you're crazy, right? This is the catch-22, right? So we're doing pretty good because we know that we're a little crazy, right? We're suffering under the influence of illusion. We identify, we know that we're not this mind, we know we're not these senses, but we haven't realized that. And we're still under the influence of these lower urges, lower tendencies, lower ideas, right? And so we cannot immediately jump from here to there. It's not going to be so simple. So therefore, we need a plan. We need a plan, and we're playing the long game, and we need to cater to both sides, right? We cannot just immediately jump into the plane of absolute truth. We won't last. Our faith is not developed enough. Our realization is not developed enough. And it's also not what it's about. That's another thing. What it's really, real Krishna consciousness is supposed to progress as an expression of attraction and love and desire. It's not meant to be, a matter of beating ourselves over the head. Oh, I'm supposed to be like this, or I'm supposed to be like that. It's meant to be that our heart, is growing in attraction, and we want to go to this higher thing. That's what it's meant to be about. I had a very nice discussion with one of our new friends, Ananda Krishna. He's not here today, and he was asking me about what kind of do you ever listen to ordinary music? Well, what kind of music? And I said, when I was younger, there were some kinds of music I'd listen to, but as time goes by, you just feel that it's a lower vibration, and you feel there's some impurity there, and you can't really do it anymore, and he told me that he was experiencing the same thing, and he said there's a part of me that feels a little sad because I can't enjoy those things the way I used to, but it just feels so opposite to the positive spiritual direction I'm going in, that it's so incongruent that I can't do it anymore, So, and how he's feeling attracted to a higher vibration. There's a higher vibration that's resonating with him. And I was very happy to hear that, because I said, yeah, this is the real movement, this is an expression of the real development of real Krishna consciousness, that it's all happening on the basis of attraction, of natural attraction of the heart to something higher, not a matter of reading in the book or being told, oh, this is right and this is wrong and this is what's what, okay? Then it all becomes mechanized, right? It spoils the culture of faith, actually. So our progress should be natural, should be happy. And so, you know, one thing, our good friend Shudashava Prabhu, who he left the world some years ago now, but very wonderful Vaishnava, and very wise, very grounded, earthy, you know, person. Very funny also. But one thing that he used to say, he was my first mentor actually in Krishna consciousness. One of the things that very dear to our Gurudev, one of the things he used to say, which I appreciated very much, is he would say that we don't want to pollute the ideal. That we may not be able to follow the ideal, but we're not going to change it to suit us, you know. Right. So we want to make some distinction. We want to have some clarity. Like, this is where I am right now, and this is where I'm trying to go. And right now, you know, I have all my things that I like to do that are comfortable to me, you know, in my current plane of misconception. But I know that's not the be all and the end. I know that's not what I ultimately want. And I want to move towards I want to move up here. This is the real thing. And I want to slowly move towards that, you know. I'm not going to jumble everything together and say, oh, it's all one, and I'm going to turn everything into divine service.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that. We want to have some, you know, refined understanding of these things. You know? But at the same time, you know, in some way we can think, you know, we will change our vision in terms of how we are relating with people. We will try to change our vision in the sense that we won't think, oh, this is my wife or my house or my job or my money or my whatever, my children. But I would think, you know, this person is a servant of Krishna. You know, this house is Krishna's house. You know, we will begin to relate to things and conceive of things in a different way, you know. But we won't think, oh, I'm directly serving Krishna by, you know, X, Y, and Z. But in some indirect way, we will see things more in connection with the Lord. You know, this person is actually a member of Krishna's family, even if they don't know it. You know, that's where their real identification lies. We will try to see people more in this spiritual way. You know?
Can I ask you to repeat that phrase that hit me like a thunderbolt? Not polluting the ideal. Was that it?
Yes.
That's going on my bathroom mirror.
Yeah, that's Shudashavahu. Yeah, Shudashavahu. We don't want to pollute the ideal. You know, we will accept where, you know, and sometimes he was very funny because for a very long time he would give classes in our temple in India, Navadvip, and for a long time he wouldn't allow me to record his class. He'd give he gave the best classes, but he wouldn't let me record them a lot of the time. And I would get so frustrated sometimes. And one day I was like really like demanding, like, why won't you let me record your classes? And then finally he told me one day, I don't want any evidence of hypocrisy. I don't want there to be any record of my hypocrisy, you know, because that's what he felt like. I'm preaching one thing, but I'm doing something else. I'm not actually following it. So that was something that he felt very deeply in his heart, you know, that the ideal that our gurus have given us is so worshipable. And we don't, because it's something that does take place in the religious world, or actually in not only the religious world, it's a part of, it's mentioned as one of the 4 defects of the conditioned soul. The cheating propensity, So there's that tendency, right? That because we want to be known as, we want to be considered reputable people, right? You know, we want to be known as worthy, good people. But then the problem is we can't always live up to the standards of others. So let's just change the standards. Let's just change the standards and, make everything we're doing, divine and great, and all of that. So that was something that he found very disgusting, even if he couldn't, necessarily follow everything properly. The idea of diminishing the value of that was very disgusting to him. So, the sincere seeker of truth will make this clear distinction, between what it is that we're striving for, what it is that we're worshiping, and where we are here and now. And in a sense, it's fine, to be down here, but we just need to be honest about it. That honesty is so, you can't, like there's one expression, you can't wake up someone who's pretending to be asleep. So it's like if we're pretending that we're great, where can we go from there? We can't go anywhere from there, So first we have to have that awareness, that understanding. Oh, this is where I am, and this is where I need to go. We need to have some clarity. Otherwise, you can't make any progress.
This always makes me so excited. This reminds me of why I decided I wanted to be a theist in the first place. It's just honest. No facile stuff about how I, Jason, am unproblematically the Atman and Tattvamasi, which is a terrible pollution of the absolute. It's much more flavorful to just have it be it and accept that I'm mixed up and misled, but that's okay because there's something else that's not, and I can move on that.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, it's okay. This is how we are, and it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. And another thing I wanted to add to that, and we had Seva Rupa Didi joined us. Dandavat, welcome. Another thing I wanted to add to that was one expression of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that he would say that we should judge a person by their ideal. That we should not judge them by their current activity or current behavior, but what is the ideal which they are upholding, which they identify with, and that's how you can really judge somebody. How high is their ideal, not where they are here and now, but what are they holding as their highest ideal in life. And this is the thing too that we have to remember, once we have offered ourselves to this channel of divine grace, anything's possible. Anything is possible, and we must reach that ideal. May not be today or tomorrow, but someday, some point, sometime, we must reach that ideal. And so we should see others like that. This is a very important principle in Vaishnavism that helps us get out of the ugly, spirit of criticism. See what is that higher force, higher current which they're connected to. What is that higher ideal that they're striving towards? They must reach there. One day or another, they must reach there. All this that we're going through at present, mentally, physically, emotionally, all these things, these are like mushrooms. Srila Sridhar Maharaj mentions in one place, like mushrooms, they have no firm rooting in the soil. They will wash away, very easily. Yeah, very nice topic. So, yeah, sorry, Prabhu, please.
I'd just like to mention too the what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Yat Karoshi Yad Shnasi. So he's telling us whatever you do, whatever you eat, offer that to me. And I heard some explanation, I can't remember where. It's like if you do that sincerely, then Krishna is, and what you're mentioning too, is Krishna maybe give you the mentality to refine that type. So in the beginning, okay, fine. Krishna is saying, graciously saying, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in charity, sacrifice, austerity, whatever you're doing, offer that to me. And if you're doing that with sincerity, then Krishna is going to give you the opportunity to refine that, to make that more and more, closer to the actual.
Yes, very, very, very nice that you brought that up, Prabhu. Very nice. Yes, absolutely. And this is described, this type of devotion, this type of bhakti is described as Krishna Karmarpan, is referred to like this in the scripture Chaitanya Charitamrita, to live in that spirit of offering all our karma, all of our activity to Krishna. Yes, that is correct, yes, and that is a way in which we can try to move in our life. Yes, absolutely. Yat karoshi yarashnashi yajjuhoshi dadasi yat tapashashi kunteya tat karusha arpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever sacrifice you make, whatever you make in charity, try to do everything as an offering unto me. Yes, absolutely. In a broad sense, we can try to live our lives like that. And we can also have the consciousness that, I'm eating this pizza because I want to eat this pizza, but still I will offer it to Krishna. We may have some, it will be healthy to have that awareness. Okay, maybe this isn't the most divine activity, but I want to remember Krishna, like here we're offering, when we cook something, we offer to Gurudev, and maybe I'm not offering to Gurudev exactly what he wants, I'm offering, but today I made like this like noodle stir fry with vegetables, which are like, I like to make them so they're like very al dente, like just hardly cooked at all. And broccoli and cabbage crunchy, and I'm thinking my Gurudev would never eat this. Actually, Indians don't really believe in salad. They don't understand it. They don't understand. Gurudev wouldn't eat salad. Srila Maharaj wouldn't eat salad. But I'm offering it to Gurudev. That's what I want to eat. But I'm not going to live without offering it to him. So it's a token thing, right? It's like a token thing. So yes, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up.
But I was just thinking, because like the pizza example, we want to eat pizza, but we're thinking, oh, I'll offer this to Krishna first. But then I think then you get that conception, oh, maybe I shouldn't be offering pizza. Maybe I should just, take prashadam. So it seems like in that way, like if you're offering everything as service, if you're offering everything to the Lord, more and more your
Right.
mentality is refined.
Yeah, that's a nice point. Because you're making that connection with the higher currents, and then you're leaving yourself open, right, for higher realization, right? You're getting into that spirit of offering, and then more and more refined feelings will come to us. Yes, that's a good point. Govindanandini has a hand raised.
Yes, Timoy answered very nicely my question now. Like, the thing is, when this is like, let's say, how could I say this in English? A question that always comes to your mind, something that is always pertinent to ask. When do I know that I'm sincere? How do I know how much am I sincere? So Lalita Madhava said once that he asked this to Srila Govindam Srila Gurudev, and he told him, you will know this. You. So
Srila Sridhar Maharaj gave a similar answer that one time he gave different answers, I think, at different times. So, but he gave one similar to that. He just said, be sincere, be sincere. It comes down to that. How do you know that you're sincere? Chinmoy Prabhu, he just turned off his camera. Rasa Raj Prabhu, want to hear from somebody else. What are your comments? Chinmoy's back.
Well, normally I assume that I am not sincere and I'm not qualified. I always think like that. I try to do my best, but at the end, I think that I don't have sincerity. Actually, that's what I feel. But still, I see that by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, something will grow in me. That's what I feel.
That's beautiful. Beautiful answer, Rasa.
I will say that one example of Srila Sridhar Maharaj is very beautiful, where there's a young woman who's pregnant and she says to her mother, I'm going to bed now. Please wake me up when the baby is coming. And the mother's like, don't worry. You will know when the baby is coming.
I didn't hear that. I heard a similar type of analogy, but not quite like that. That's very nice. That's very nice. Very nice. I mean, I like what Prabhu said, that we can only try, right? We can only try. Sometimes what helps me is I think back to, because I think most of us, we go through that early period of almost fanatic enthusiasm, when everything's very fresh, and I think we all go through like this period of like very simple and extreme faith. Many of us go through that, and that helps me, because as we go along and we become more involved, especially in missionary life, right? This is one of the dangers of the institution, right? That other things start to creep in, right? Consideration of our position or power, resources, popularity. Or it can also be that we become distracted by the superficial features of a spiritual institution, the management side, for example, or, getting things done, or, going on in a mechanical way, right? There are all these things that are dangers surrounding service within an institution. Of course, there's plenty of dangers outside of the institution too. Just as one example. So that's something that helps me, thinking back to that. Marie, you haven't had a chance to get to your comments properly yet, but I hope some of the answers are coming naturally in the discussion. But when I think back to my to Garasa saying the answers are coming. We have a very dynamic group here. I love it. When I think back to, like when I was like 17, 18 years old, and I was first getting really excited about Krishna consciousness, and how like the littlest things could get me so excited. I think back to that freshness, right? This innocence. And that's something that can help me, what is really, how much do I still have that pure and simple type of faith? and what is my focus now? You know, what am I preoccupied with now? No. And having good association, you know, if we associate with those whom we consider to be sincere, you know, like you know, I'm always actually really inspired by new devotees, you know, because they haven't like gotten so deeply entrenched in the things that can distract you, right? And they have this pure and simple faith. Of course, the obstacles haven't started coming up yet, but there's this innocence there, which can be very inspiring and remind us, you know, of the beauty and the simplicity of pure Krishna consciousness. There's also another explanation that Srila Sridhar Maharaj gave once. He says, which is kind of in line with what I've just said, when he was asked on another occasion about sincerity, he said, it is to have, he used this in Bengali, there's this word sharal. I'm not pronouncing it right, I'm sorry. Luckily, we don't have any Bengali speakers in the room. It's sharal, means like simple. It's also translated as sincere, this simplicity. So he would use that word. And then he quote, actually, now I'm remembering, he was actually quoting from somewhere. Shoral hoibe gora shiksha bujibe pade, something like that. That if you have this simplicity, the sincerity of heart, you will be able to understand Mahaprabhu's teachings. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj also elaborated on that, saying that sincerity means to have appreciation for the inner nature of Mahaprabhu's teachings, like appreciation for the substance, not for the cover, for the show. Okay, Somya Sham Vijay Prabhu, thanks for joining. Dandavat. Not to be stuck on the, Prabhu's, Jadu Gopal Prabhu's here. Dandavat. Dandavat. This is the golden trio in Limerick.
Sorry for interrupting.
The three stooges.
Dandavat, sorry for interrupting. Dandavat, Hare Krishna.
To have appreciation for the inner nature of Mahaprabhu's teachings, you know, not to be stuck on the cover, on the superficial side of things, you know. That is sincerity. Are we connecting with that? Are we connecting with that? You know, there's this one word, kutinati. You've heard that word, right? Govindandini. We come across it sometimes, and it's usually translated as cheating, like a kind of cheating. But I came across someone shared with me once one place where Bhakti Vinod Thakur, it's mentioned sometimes like as one of the, you see it come up in different places as one of the obstacles to be careful of. And like in when Mahaprabhu is speaking about using that analogy of the creeper of devotion, right? The seed of the creeper of devotion, Bhakti Lata Bij, and then it mentioning like the different weeds, right, that can grow up along with that creeper. And kutinati is one of the things that's mentioned. And it also comes up in other places as you know, like a type of anartha. But so I see it that it's generally translated as cheating, but I came across this one explanation someone shared with me, where Bhakti Vinod Thakur goes into some discussion of it. And he gave this one analogy where he said that, say there's and this is something that, you know, with persons who are more familiar with Vedic standards, and, you know, they'll be able to appreciate. Say you have a pond of water where people go and bathe, and then you have some toilets which are right next to that pond. And so he says, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gives this as one example of kutinati, that if you bathe in that pond, are you really clean? because there's the toilets are right there, right? Because normally, nowadays, things have changed a lot. But traditionally, in a traditional like Paka Vedic standard ashram, right? You'll have a good distance between toilets and showers, right? Because there's some contamination that comes where the toilet is, right? Even there will be different places where you're passing stool and urine, right? You'll still see that in India, that there will be different closets for one for passing urine, another for passing stool, right? You still find that in some places. At least I see that in Navadvip and the surrounding villages. They still follow that. So to become preoccupied with that, like, oh, are you really clean or not? Because there's some contamination coming, from the toilet, so you're not really clean, So he described that as a type of kutinati. It was very interesting, like becoming preoccupied with something which ultimately is superficial. It is not the essence of what we are doing. Sometimes, we get, there are so many different examples, right? Sometimes there are so many distractions, and it's tricky. The plane of Gyan is actually quite tricky, the plane of knowledge, because it can look the same, right? So like for example, becoming too involved with the technical side of things or the theory, right? Like there's one person who gets angry at me sometimes. And we were discussing this person earlier. He gets angry at me because he likes to ask me very technical questions. And I honestly don't have all the answers. Really, I'm not such an intelligent person. I have some understanding of the teachings, but I don't think of myself as a scholar. I'm not a philosopher, theologian, all these things. I have some understanding. My IQ is not that high, I have some understanding of the teachings, and that's what I'm trying to share. Like Gurudev would say, if we need to cross a river, we need to know how to swim. And that's what I'm trying to share, some understanding and some little experience of what it means to swim across the river. Right? I'm not someone who has all the answers and can answer all the technical points. That's not who I am, and I'm not pretending to be that. But there's one person who likes to go into many technical points about the teachings, and they like to ask me all these questions. And I honestly don't have the answers, and so I give them my answer up to the point, but then they become angry with me. Because, oh, you're not answering my question properly. But I don't know more than that. That's as much as I know. That's as much as I know. So we're not here. Okay, we want to have some understanding of the theory. We need that. But ultimately, that's not what this is about. Ultimately, our desire is to serve, to dedicate, to offer ourselves. And if we don't understand something, we can put it on the shelf, wait for the answer to come when it wants to be revealed. It's not a matter of, mental conquering. We want to conquer things in our mental world. That's not what this is about. So what is really the essence? What is really the essence? That is sincerity, to be concerned with the essence. We want to be acquainted with that. What is the essence of all of this? To try to follow that. And, one nice comment, it was Nyasi Maharaj, he made actually on this point, that I can't remember exactly what his words were, But the idea was that he said that sincerity is when you are ready to be corrected. Right? You are ready to be corrected. That, we're all making mistakes, right? But the real test is when some correction comes, when adjustment comes, are we open to receiving that? That's a real test of sincerity. It's like, you may find persons who behave in, a very terrible way, very arrogant or whatever it may be, make a lot of trouble. But then some correction comes, somebody tries to adjust them and they accept that. Because they are sincere, then their behavior could dramatically change. Whereas somebody else who's insincere, everybody in the whole world may tell them what you're doing is wrong and they won't listen. Right? They're not able to be correct. They cannot be corrected. Because it's, they have that ego and they have a lack of sincerity. They cannot hear truth. And so they cannot receive correction. That is another sign. That is a very good sign of sincerity. That if we're doing wrong, we can be corrected. We can change. We can course correct. So we can, and that's something that actually comforts me a lot, and because I feel I'm doing so many things wrong myself, but I also feel that, I'm living my life daily in the consciousness that I want to improve. I want help. I need help. Please help me. I feel that is an expression of sincerity, that we want to be helped. We want some higher guidance. We're seeking that always. That maybe I'm doing many things wrong right now, but it's not that I'm stuck on being like this, and everyone else is just going to have to deal with it. No, please, Lord, help me. And it's actually so hopeful to live like that. Okay, this is where I am now, but Lord, if you help me, I can be something better. Actually, it's on you. You please. I'm your problem. I'm your problem, Lord. So you have to take care of this problem. Srila Maharaj, yes, Marie, that is the good news. Srila Maharaj, this isn't my own, these aren't my own words. Srila Maharaj, he speaks like that in one place, that we can approach the Lord with this kind of intimacy, like he says, if there's something wrong with my documents, please fix them. I am your property, he says. I am your property, my Lord. So you have to fix me if something's wrong. That's your responsibility. That's on you. That's on you. Gurudev, he would quote sometimes. Gurudev would quote some very funny things sometimes from different places. There was this one, maybe you, Govinda Jr., Chinmoy, can remember. It was like a song of a prayer of a Kali Bhakta, very like sweet prayer where he's saying like, oh, you gave me this duty to preach your glories, but I am lame. I cannot walk, So, you have to find some way, or also it's the same idea of John Milton. Srila Sridhar Maharaj quotes John Milton. Doth God day labor give, light deny? You've given me a serve. I'm kind of going off on a tangent, by the way, a little bit here. Just because it's, I suppose, how I'm something in my mind. That, you've given me this service this is because John Milton, he was going blind and he was trying to finish this work. And so he was feeling some despondency. Oh, I have this duty to do that God's given me, but he's also taking away my eyesight, so I can't do it. But But he came to this realization. If God is giving me this work, he will also give me the capacity to do that. And ultimately, we have to pray for sincerity, right? Pray to our gurus. If I'm not sincere, make me sincere. I think that's a sincere thing to do, don't you think? If I'm not sincere, please make me sincere. Another comment. Oh, sorry, were you going to say something?
No, please finish.
No, well, I was just going to say another comment that comes to mind with Srila Sridhar Maharaj is he describes sincerity as the ability to accept our own responsibility in the difficulties that come to us, to accept that we are the cause of that. So not to blame the environment, but to accept our own responsibility, that we are the cause. And that is, and he says to not recognize that is a lack of sincerity, to not acknowledge that, to blame the environment, that is a lack of sincerity. So to have that reflection, oh, I am responsible, actually. This is happening because I did wrong. You know, this person's treating me like this, or this person did this to me, said this to me, or whatever. This difficulty is coming, the circumstance, you know, but not to react against that, but to honestly reflect within our hearts and say, oh, no, I'm the cause, really. I'm the cause. I cannot blame X, Y, or Z. Cannot blame this person, that person, this thing or that thing. No, but I am the cause. I am the cause. And it's actually such a profound thing, you know, when we have that feeling or when we see it in others. For me, it's one of the most moving things that I see sometimes in devotees when they, and sometimes I'll even see a shift where they'll come to me complaining, oh, this, and this. And then they'll come back to me again and say, oh, you know, I thought about it more. And now I'm seeing, oh, how I am responsible. How I caused this. You know, I did this to that person before, and now it's coming back to me. It's one of the most moving things I experience in my life, you know, to see this honest self-reflection, you know, and it's a privilege. You know, actually, we don't realize how noble we are when we can accept our mistakes, you know, when we can acknowledge our mistakes. And somebody said that to me recently, that, oh, I appreciate this quality about this person, that, you know, they can accept when they can acknowledge when they make mistakes, because there's this human tendency, right, to cover up, right? We don't want to admit that we made a mistake, right? We don't want to admit that we did wrong. So we'll try to cover it up in different ways. But there's actually such nobility in being able to honestly accept, oh, I did wrong. It's such a powerful and beautiful, I find it so beautiful, actually. There's nothing wrong in making mistakes. There's nothing, we're human. To err is human, right? It's normal. We are exhibiting normal symptoms of being a conditioned soul in the lap of Maya. There's nothing to be embarrassed about at all. So it's not anything to be ashamed of. So to be able to just honestly acknowledge that, it's so beautiful and so touching. I did wrong. I did wrong, my Lord, my friends, Vaishnavas. I did wrong. Please forgive me. That is sincerity. That is sincerity. You were going to say something, Govinda Nandini.
Now I am wordless. I don't want to pollute the ideal.
What did you say?
I said, now I am wordless. So I don't want to pollute the ideal.
One time Chimikar Maharshi, he said to me that about there was some issue with some devotees, and he said to me, and they were making some trouble for him, and he said to me, I'm ready to tell everyone that I did so many things wrong to them. And he said, I will publish it in the newspaper. He said, I'm ready to publish it in the newspaper, all the things that I did wrong to them. All the things that I did wrong, This type of naked mood is very helpful in Krishna consciousness. It's very helpful. Naked, raw. Na dharma nishtosmi, na chatma veri, na bhakti mam charanara vinde, akinchano nanya, gati sharanya, tadpadamulam sharanam prapadye. Oh my Lord, I don't know anything about what is devotion. I don't know the scripture. I don't have devotion. I don't know the scripture. I don't know about dharma, duty, piety, religion. Don't know the scripture. I don't have devotion. Don't know devotion. I don't have anything, But such as I am taking shelter of your lotus feet. This is so powerful. This is so powerful. This is my fallen condition. And as Jason said, it's okay. We've gone full circle here. It's okay. This is who I am and what I am, and it's okay. I'm not going to hide, and I'm coming to you, my Lord, as I am. And that was something that Gurudev appreciated. He mentioned that about somebody, that one devotee, this person, they came with, this issue and that issue. No, but they came to me and they fully surrendered as they were. He appreciated that move. We're not hiding. We're not ashamed. We're not. Of course, there's shame, but there's a difference between healthy shame and unhealthy shame. There's a type of confidence in there's a healthy confidence in acknowledging our shameful condition. I'm not going to let that hold me back. I'm not going to let that hold me back because I'm not perfect. I'm imperfect. And this is what I am. But I'm also being proactive about it. This is what I'm doing also. Dana, thanks for joining us and thanks for your kind appreciation. Suyash, Prabhu, we've been missing you. Very happy to see you.
Haribo, Dandavad, everyone.
Dandavad. You know who we have here now is Namapriya. Now she's gone out the room. This is devotee Mauritius. Namapriya spent 3 months in Mauritius. And now we have Suyash Prabhu. Prabhu, we're just coming to the end of our meeting. You want to share any news from there? Or any reflections or anything? We'd love to hear your voice.
I'm late. I'm very, very late. I've been forgetting all those times and everything. I was busy with the wedding here. So yeah, it took me long, very, very long. Yeah. So yeah, now I'm trying to get back on track. So yeah, and I'm late. So little by little I get on time.
Oh well, so good to see you, Prabhu. We've missed you. We missed you.
Yeah, I missed you.
Later there, actually. It's late there.
Yeah, it's 10 p.m.
10 p.m. 10 p.m. Yes. Well, before we end, Chinmoy Prabhu, would you want to announce the new special news? I don't know if he's there. Okay, well, I'll share the good news. We're starting a new Zoom meeting And this was inspired because we have a ladies meeting on Fridays when we go through videos of Srila Govinda Maharaj or Gurudev. And it's very, Chinmoy Prabhu is preparing these videos with subtitles, which is so valuable because, many devotees and newcomers, they're not familiar with Gurudev's intonation. So Chinmoy Prabhu has been working very hard on preparing these subtitles. But at the same time, there are things which come up in the talks. Gurudev's making different references, which not everyone is familiar with. So we have this ladies meeting on Fridays when we go through these videos, and we'll watch a few minutes, we'll pause, discuss, kind of like in an organic way. And another element of this is that Chinmoy Prabhu is also wanting to make these subtitles perfect. And so there are often phrases which he hasn't quite caught or quotes. So our idea is this new meeting will be going through and discussing these videos of our Gurudev. And also at the same time, adding to anything in the subtitles that needs to be there, taking input from the devotees. So it's going to be like a dynamic thing, and hopefully we're hoping that there will be a number of senior devotees who will join. I think Madhusudan Maharaj might join. We'll invite Devashish Prabhu, we have many qualified devotees who can also add something. Suvasini Didi and Govindandini, Chinmoy, of course. So it's going to be an exciting, dynamic meeting. Starting next Saturday, and it will be, here's Chintamani tuning in. And that. So it's going to be Saturdays, 12 p.m. noon California time. And it'll be a little late here. It'll be 9 p.m. here. Be midnight, I think, in Mauritius. But for you, Gangalila, it's going to be noon Saturdays, which I hope is a good time for you. So we're hoping it will be something, it's not going to be led by any one person. It'll be like a group thing. And we hope it's something that will bring together fans of Srila Govinda Maharaj. And we may also go through some video talks of Srila Sridhar Maharaj as well. It's such, I can say from what we've been doing on Fridays, it's so beautiful, like as a group, we're watching the video together. And then we're pausing as needed and elaborating some of the points. And yeah, we'll record it for sure, Suyash Prabhu. It's been very sweet. And of course, Chinmoy Prabhu's been doing this in Sokel in the setting of the ashram, the part of Saturday evening classes. And I've joined that a few times, and it's just so like sitting together and hearing Gurudev and having that experience of like the video and the audio. It's very nice listening, of course, like we listen to talks, but the video just adds another element. It's powerful. So we hope. Yes, Chintamani, Chinmoy Prabhu is actually going to send you all the information so you can post it in your groups. He mentioned that. It's just hot off the press. He sent me this. So Chinmoy's wife, Doya Moy, she's a very talented designer, and we were in the middle of our program here, and it popped up, and I just like started shouting, and I had to call Chinmoy because it's so beautiful. I'll show you. Here. You can see something. This is the poster that she made. So yeah, that's going to be going up on
wonderful, great,
all over, and yeah, we'll be sending to you, Chintamani. So yeah, and also I made a tiny URL. For those of you who prefer it, I definitely do. It's tinyurl.com/Srila Govinda Maharaj. So that's easy to remember. So yeah, everyone is more than welcome for that. There was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was. But, yeah. Okay. Any final words from anyone, or should we close there for today? I feel like there's something important that we're missing. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, now I suppose one thing I could say is that, our mission, is kind of going in different directions, right? There are different, our community, our mission as a whole, there are kind of like different, how can I say, they're going in different directions, right? There are some different points of emphasis. There are different leaders, right? Some are more inspired by different leaders than others. But Srila Govinda Maharaj is what unites all of us. That is what I want to say. So I feel that in light of that, this type of thing is so valuable, so important, because it's something that brings everybody together, brings everyone together. And I also feel that it's so important. We all feel, it's so important that the next generation, has the opportunity to really get a feeling for who Srila Govinda Maharaj is, and something like this, I feel, is quite can be quite powerful. It's different than just sitting and reading the book, on your own. That's also very wonderful, but like coming together as a group and hearing from Srila Govinda Maharaj, and then the subtitles are so valuable too. So anyway, I can't tell you like how excited I am about this meeting, and I hope everyone will be able to join. Okay, well, I'll end there unless anyone else. Govinda Dandini, you're a hostess. Any final words for today? Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. All the assembled, exalted Vaishnavas, sincere seekers ki Jai. All the world devotees ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Jai, Vishakha Devi Dasi ki
Jai.
Jai.
Thank you all so much for your wonderful association. It's been a really beautiful.
Thank you.
Always fresh.
I love it, Didi. It's like you're for something.